inviting me on it. And Glenn, thank you very much.
Well, good morning and welcome to Leeds, everybody. I would love to, first of all, honour your time and promise you that within the next half an hour, I should, as long as I speak well, give you something to think about. That's my objective, is to make you walk away and think differently about the choices that you make. The letter C of choice exists between B and D. B being birth and D being death. And the C is in the middle. And how long you take between B and D will be defined by your choices. Does anybody have a guess as to what this might represent? Would anybody like to volunteer a guess? Who's not seen my LinkedIn post? It is not a blue raspberry slush puppy, but thank you for engaging. It's a glass potentially half full. This represents me. I have a life expectancy of about 81 years currently. I'm 54 next Monday. Thank you for the birthday wishes in advance. I've only got that much left. The bit that's clear is what I've already lost. And my objective is to make sure that every single drop of what's left, I'm going to choose to use every single second of it to the best of my ability. Today is the 75th anniversary of the NHS. 75 years it's been providing brilliant medical health care to all of us. But we have a rising tide of problem in that today our life expectancy for the first time in years is flatlining. 150 years ago, you would have been really in a pickle. No primary medical cover, no antibiotics. Those two big solutions have enabled you to be privileged today to live to 80 plus years. Regrettably, in the next half an hour, I'm going to show you that we are literally hurting our ability to stay alive. Sorry to bring this to you at 10 past 11 on Wednesday morning in Leeds, but this is a really serious topic. And I promise I will not talk about the brand that I represent, but underneath all of this, we do protect people from medical health care. Those at the back, can you just show me can you hear me okay? Fantastic. So what I'd love you to think about is to walk away with 1, 2, maybe 3 actions. If you could walk out of here with 3 things today, that shows me that we've stopped talking and we've started doing. This is why it's important for business. In the last year, we've lost 105 million days as a result of long-term chronic health conditions. 105 million days. Who here runs their own business? Does anybody run their own business or is self-employed? Can we afford to run our businesses or to be self-employed, losing this much time to sickness? If you multiply those hours by the national living wage, the cost to business is 8.75 billion. The total NHS expenditure for 1 year is 71 billion. We are spending 10% of our healthcare on fixing chronic health conditions. And when we talk about the chronic health conditions, these are the 4 deadly horsemen. Sorry to really bring this home to you. Coronary heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and Alzheimer's. Every single one of those is more today than it was 10 years ago. And yet we have better science, better medical interventions, and yet those 4 horsemen are galloping into our worlds faster than ever. I bet I could ask any one of you, and you could tell me you've lost somebody to one of those 4 deadly horsemen. This is like brushing your teeth. If you don't brush your teeth when you're 16, 15, 14, 12, you'll have tooth decay when you're older. I have bad teeth because I didn't brush my teeth as well as I should have. These 4 horsemen do not wait. And it's what we do today. It's the choices that we make that will determine the success of these 4 horsemen to gallop through your lives. Great, Chris. I'm feeling fantastic. Can you give me some solutions, please? Can you help me out here and make me feel a little bit better? I would love you to think about yourself as the master of your production line. Think of the last car that you bought. Mine's a little MG, Chinese thing. Goes through a production line, started off as nothing, components come in, metals, plastics, computers, and it finishes off as a lovely little black car that gets me from A to B. Your body is just the same. What you put into your production line, the foods that you eat, the drinks that you consume, will determine the shiny black car that comes out at the other end. If that production line goes too quickly, it affects the quality of the car. If that production line runs 24/7 without a rest, without maintenance, it affects the quality of the car. If you put bad fuel into that car once it comes off the production line, it affects the quality of the car. Are you aware of your production line? You've got 3 interlinking systems that will affect your production line. The first one is the central processing unit, which is the brain. And this is the C, where B and D exists. The C is the choices that your brain allows you to make. Your brain is being hijacked every single day by marketeers that are very clever at getting you to make choices. Right now, somewhere in this world, there will be a laboratory technician tasting the quality of a Doritos potato chip. Does that Doritos potato chip make me salivate? Does it want me to make more of it? And their primary goal is not to look after you. Their primary goal is to make you want to buy more of that, to make more profit for that company. And this is where I want you to be aware of the choices that you make. Resist temptation and think. We'll go into that a bit more. The second primary function is down here, the gut system. This is your waste unit. It's such a powerful organ. And people don't spend enough time nurturing it, looking after it, allowing it to rest. Anybody been on a long flight? Ladies in particular, what happens when you go on a long flight? What happens to your ankles? Anybody want to help me out here? They swell up. Why do your ankles swell up? Because on a long flight, your lymph nodes stop working and all the toxins go down to your ankles. You've literally got 2 sewage systems kicking around your feet. This is what happens when we don't move. And when the gut stops working, we've got a real problem. Finally, it's the people that you spend time with. And we'll get to that in a minute. But I never want to lose the emphasis of these 2 systems together. The brain and the gut talk to each other literally every second of every day. And they're connected by a wonderful nerve called the vagus nerve. You don't get dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and all those lovely chemicals from your brain. It comes from your gut. When your gut is happy, it tells the chemicals to your brain that I'm a happy person. So we need to really, really respect the gut. When those 2 systems work together, your production line will be amazing. I'm going to focus on 3 things now that are the 3 most contributing points from my perspective to health. And by the way, 5 years ago, I was 15.5 stone. I was chronically depressed. I had a mental health breakdown that nearly put my head in front of the bus. It was that bad. I went on a period of discovery, therapy. I finished doing Ironman, and I now take my health so seriously because of how much blue liquid I know I've got left. This is a one-time ticket, and I have one chance to finish the best version of myself. So, this is the biggest part of the production line. This is our Western diet. What part of that picture, apart from the green thing on top of the Vienna scallop, represents food as we were conditioned way back as a hunter-gatherer? The food choices that we are given now. Go to any petrol station on the way home tonight and look around you. Find me anything fresh in that petrol station. Look at the sugar confectionery that greets you on the left. The little last-minute treats on the right, just as you check out. Telling your brain, go on, just today. You deserve it, Philip. You deserve it, Helen. Just for today. Go on, make that choice. Here are some strap lights from the best companies in the world. Anybody know who this is? Graham's laughing. Who's that? Anthony, sorry. KFC. Finger licking good. You can almost salivate now, that big bucket. Getting your fingers all greasy. And your brain's going, ah, yes, fat, energy. We like that. When you were a primeval cave person looking for the next meal, you needed that energy because you never knew where the next meal was going to come from. Anybody recognize this one? McDonald's. I'm loving it. Yep, absolutely. I would really like to have a quarter pounder right now and finish it and think, I'm still hungry. How's that? But I'm loving it. See how clever they are at getting into your psychology to make you want the choice. And it becomes a habit. You drive past, you see the golden arches, your kids go, can we have a Happy Meal? Yeah, absolutely. For 5 minutes, everybody's happy. The fact that it's called a Happy Meal is a dichotomy of terms. Anybody recognize this one? Cadbury, look how clever you are. Look how good the marketeers are. Suggesting to us that it's good to have a half and a glass full of full cream milk. Milk is lactose, which is from the glucose family, which is sugar. And it's good to fill ourselves full of milk chocolate and sugar and cream. Really? Today's milk chocolate bar does not even contain a glass and a half, but they still put the 2 glasses on to make you believe that it still exists. Anybody my age will know this one? Mars. A Mars a day helps you work, rest and play. And the new one from Coke. Coca-Cola. Real magic. A Coca-Cola bottle has 33% sugar, caffeine, and carbon dioxide. But apparently it's real magic. Here's the curve of diabetes. This is how scary this is. Diabetes has a direct correlation to sugar. This is what we are doing every day with the choices that we are made to take from big manufacturers. We cannot continue to avoid these statistics. We are heading into a real problem with our healthcare. Ideally, this is what we should be consuming. Go around the outside of the supermarket, and where the fresh stuff is where we should be shopping. Ideally. I appreciate there are cost of living problems associated with buying fresh food. You tell me if you can drink a whole carton of orange juice that contains allegedly 12 oranges, or could you sit down and eat 12 oranges that are fresh oranges and not be full? There's a difference between how you eat and consume your food. Second big thing is sleep. Roughly leave your hands up if you had more than 7 hours last night. Amazing. More than 8 hours anybody last night. We're in about the 7-hour count. Well done for working with 8. It's not always about quality. If you didn't get 7 last night, that's not so bad. But the scientific studies suggest that if you had sleep of less than 5 hours consistently, it's as bad as driving on 4 pints, because your cognitive function is now impaired. Sleep is the time when your brain rests and it computes all the memories, all the faces you see today, all the conversations you have, all the business connections. Your brain puts it into the locker and stores it. The gut kicks into action and it processes all the beautiful food you've had today. And it rests and gets rid of all the bad stuff. And also, your muscles and your cells have a chance to regenerate and renew. Which is why sleep is such an important quotient of everyday business health. I'd encourage you to get more than 7, definitely. And don't do 2 tonight and think tomorrow you can do 13, which averages 6.5, because the 2 will still do it. Regular, good, deep, quality sleep. Finally, the 3 big things that I love to work on is exercise and movement. I don't want you to become an ultra runner like Gareth is this afternoon. I don't want you to do an Ironman, but I would just love you to put exercise and movement into every single day that you've got. Challenge yourself to how many times you can avoid the lift and go up the stairs. Can you walk as opposed to the bus? All those tiny little choices compound together to create the best version of you. When you exercise, it produces endorphins, and it makes your brain literally clap for joy. Yes, calories can be burned. Exercise too much and it actually produces cortisol, which is a stress chemical, so don't actually exercise too much. Gives you all circulatory benefits, and people who are older, like me, 54, when I was a hunter-gatherer, I was going to become the tribal leader. And I didn't need strong muscles, and I didn't need high density of muscle bone, because the younger people in my tribe were the people hunting and gathering. In today's world, when we live to 80, 90, 100, we want to be active, playing golf, swinging the grandkids around, and therefore we need strong muscles and strong bones. So as you get older, you must please put resistance and strength training into your exercise and movement. I'm not a PT trainer. Go and find a good PT trainer that can tell you how to be strong and fit and have a good, long, active life. A little bit on the healthcare point is to be proactive. You've all probably got cars. You've all probably MOT'd the car in the last year. Would that be fair? Why do we really MOT our cars? Make sure it's safe. Yeah. What else does the MOT allow us to do? Tax the car. We have a legal obligation to have an MOT to allow us to drive. Yet we can put ourselves behind the wheel in a various different states of welfare and drive that 1.5 ton piece of metal without taking care of our health. If you can, try to start putting health checks into your routines. But be careful of your health check. It'll come back and tell you, congratulations, you are in range, you are normal. But if I was normal at 1.5 this year and next year I'm normal at 2.5 on my cholesterol, something's happening and I'm now moving towards the high. But I only get told I'm the high when I'm in the high range. When you do a regular health check, it tells you where you were and where you're going. Critical markers of blood pressure, cholesterol. For gentlemen, your PSA rating. For ladies, checks that you should do to make sure that you're not going to get breast or ovarian or all those other aspects. Minimum checks to make sure that you stay out of the red zone and stay in the green zone. And finally, just like we did today, the people you spend time with will influence how you spend your life. And how you spend your days will determine how you spend your life. People who hang around with drug users become drug users. People who hang around with healthy people have healthy routines. It's no surprise that the people you spend time with will determine how you exist on a day-to-day basis. Look at your people that you spend time with in the next 24 hours and find the people that are your mood movers and your radiators. Spend time with radiators and not mood movers. The final thing I want to ask you to think about is what I call my magic wand. It's not really a magic wand, but this magic wand represents 3 home truths that you know exist in you. Your 3 habits, the 3 worst people, the 3 routines that you do every day that are the things that you know you should not be doing. And tonight, this magic wand, when you pick it up, will banish all of those thoughts, and tomorrow you'll be rid of all of them. I bet you know what those 3 things are. I bet you know which shop you go to for your guilty pleasure just because you deserve it, because you've got a stressful day. I bet you know tomorrow morning you'll wake up and reach for the phone and dive into Instagram or Facebook or whichever other platform wants to have your time. I bet you know what your routines are. Imagine if you could wave this magic wand tonight and they'd all be gone. Sadly, it doesn't exist. But you could have some sandpaper, and tomorrow you could just start rubbing away those little habits. Just start working a little bit every day. If you try and change everything today that I talked about tomorrow, I guarantee you it'll be overwhelming. But if you just start small tomorrow, on any one of those things, rub the sandpaper on any one of those bad habits, any one of those bad people, or any one of those bad routines, I guarantee you, you will spend more time between B and D because of the choices that you make. I thank you for your time, I thank you for your patience. My plea to you, please, is just to walk away and spend a few minutes thinking about that screen you're looking at, the marketing machine that's playing with your head, and the ways that you're being tempted to fall into things that are not serving you. You are the master of your own destiny, and how you self-love will determine how you love others. Thank you for your attention, and have a good rest of the day.
Thank you very much, Chris. Does anyone have any questions? Chris, I know it's not around all day, so if people want to grab on a one-to-one basis. Any questions? One of that?
Okay, the benefit of the question for everybody is talking about diets, and do I have any opinions on diet? First of all, I am not a nutritionist, and the biggest thing I would say is go and find the right person that will help you find the diet that's right for you. What I know about diets from the people that I've worked with is that there is no miracle cure, and when you diet, your body gets used to a lower threshold of consumption. So even though you reduce your calories and you lose weight, your body now gets used to consuming that level of metabolic calorie. So once you put more in, your body cannot cope with the extra input. So diets, from my opinion, are there to furnish the companies that peddle the system. The best diet you can have is making the right choices every day. Around what type of food, you could go keto, you could go all the different fats, you could fast, find your nutritionist, find out what works for you. Your body is unique, and your system is unique to what you need. It's the best answer I can give you. But I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist. Go and find a professional that can help you with that. Does that answer the question? Yeah, I would fully support the fact that you should not be eating processed or highly changed food. That picture we had of food in its rawest entity, that looks colourful, that is as near to the thing that you actually remember it to be, which is a cow, a pig, a chicken, a plant, that's what we should be consuming, ideally. I appreciate it's not easy to do, but being careful with the way that you buy and the way that you consume will be better for your long-term health. But I am not a nutrition, I'm not a dietetic, but avoid highly processed foods where you possibly can. Thank you for the question. Anybody else? Does anybody want to? Yeah.
I know you said you didn't want to plug WPA, but what is your opinion?
Yeah, I don't like to sell, but WPA is Western Profit Association. It's the 5th largest medical insurance provider in the UK, and critically, it's not for profit. It's very ethically minded. We only do health cover, and it's just the same as driving your car. When you drive your car, you have insurance because of the cardiac arrest you could have behind the wheel, or because the car hits you. Medical insurance cover gives you the peace of mind to know that if something does happen, then we will pay for the consultant to protect you and treat you, and when you're in hospital, give you the best cover available. So that's WPA, and if you want to have a one-to-one with me about that, then happy to do so. Would anybody want to share one action that you can take away? We can all hold you accountable and find you on LinkedIn to see if you did it. One person, yes? A salad for lunch. Brilliant. And if you do have a salad, if you want to get a great book, it's called The Glucose Goddess. Forgot the name of the author. And she will tell you very clearly why sugar is literally your worst nemesis. But she'll also tell you how you can have sugar in the right way. Things like your fiber friends, so you fill your gut full of fiber and it stops the sugar hitting your gut wall, which goes to your insulin receptors, which builds fat. Really simple book, The Glucose Goddess. I would highly recommend it. So if you have a salad, put some vinaigrette on it. your gut loves vinegar because it fights the sugar. Yeah. One final point. Yeah. One other accountability. Biscuits in the evening. What type of biscuits do you really love? Which ones? Rich tea biscuits.
It's like you go in for one, next time you go to the kitchen.
And where are your biscuits? Tell me where they are. In the kitchen, in a cupboard? Do me a favour, put a mirror behind the biscuits. And when you look at that mirror, your eyes will be looking at you. What's your name? Annie. And it'll say, Annie, you're about to have those rich tea biscuits. Do you really want that? And then next to it, put some chopped up carrots or some broccoli. The habit is you reaching in the cupboard for the biscuits. That's the habit. We need to change the cue. And the next time you go in the cupboard, you'll reach for something different to the rich tea biscuits. It's just the routine. Fully applaud the routine. Put a mirror in and say, Annie, do you really want to do that? If you do, reach for the carrots. It's that little momentary pause between stimulus and response. If you can change the gap and change the choice, you'll be more in command of the routine.
I'll take your biscuits off your hands if you need me to.
Listen, I know we're on time. Thank you very, very much for your engagement. Thank you very much. And enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, everyone. So we've got about half an hour now before we do the panel discussion, which Audrey here is going to look after for me, which is great. So we're going to talk all about AI. So take half an hour, do what you need to do, and back here. And yeah, look forward to seeing you all in the afternoon. Thank you, guys.
Are you okay? I see you over there. Sorry, you talking to me, so I thought I'd catch you. I was going to play you.
When I met you, she was at the event, but she travelled with me, so.
Oh, is that right?
Sometimes the one thing to actually
You know, because you understand.
You've got amazing teeth. Why do you have amazing teeth?
As we celebrate, you know, you can tell us tomorrow.
I get to make the right choices.